Hey everyone, it's Lydia with Eradicating Self-Doubt and Anxiety, and I'm really excited about this incredible um, weaving of all these issues that sort of weave together to create the anxiety that some of us experience. So when we have a lack of self-trust, it generates anxiety. When we have a lack of self-confidence, that generates some anxiety and anxious thoughts. I want to talk today about the future and the past, but before I do, I just want to say I'm a rapid transformational therapy practitioner in the style of Marisa Peer. Marisa Peer is a renowned speaker, writer, author, hypnotherapist, and she has had an amazing career for over 30 years. And she established a school, Marisa Peer. The Marisa Peer School, I think is what it's called. And she teaches rapid transformational therapy, which is fast and effective and incredible and amazing. She has gotten amazing results from lots of different people for many different issues. And I'm really excited because I've worked with anxiety for a while. I've worked with sleep, and I discovered it's not surprising. And I knew that. I just wanted to niche down a little bit more that when people can't sleep, it's very often because of anxiety. And I'm really excited now because I'm teasing out the different elements that contribute to this overall heading. Anxiety is sort of a broad heading, right? And we can be anxious situationally. We can be anxious in certain circumstances, but in not others. We can be anxious because of certain triggers that we have. I know for me, whenever I drive by the certain location where I used to have a job, I get triggered because I feel the pain of that situation. I feel the pain of what happened back then, and I don't like that. So it's important for us to avoid our triggers if we can. But anyway, back to the future and the past. When we have a lack of self-trust, and what I'm talking about is this deep and abiding self-trust that, deep down in your heart of hearts, you trust yourself. You trust yourself and the decisions that you make. And so many things feed into it, like I said. So I'm really excited about creating lots of videos that all have to do with it. And actually, one more thing before I start talking about the future and the past is to give you this image of a basket. I went to a basket making workshop, believe it or not, last weekend, and made a little basket. And it was really interesting, actually, a little side note is that I made this basket and I really wanted it to be tight. And you have to pull, these were like vines. And so it wasn't just like yarn. You had to really yank on these vines to get them to be tight. I wanted my basket to be, look somewhat reasonable. Like I wanted it to look like a basket. And so I was pulling. But as a result, it came out to be like really small and really tight. And it kind of looks like I'm just a really uptight person, which I don't think I am. At one point I was, but not anymore. Anyway, so just a very, very tight basket, which is just interesting. It can be a little bit of a metaphor, but all these different vines are wrapped together to form a basket, to form a whole. And that's how I see anxiety. I see anxiety as this broad overarching term, but that there's so many strands that weave together to create the basket. So anyway, when we're thinking about the future and we do not have this deep and abiding self-trust, we worry, we are concerned, we perseverate, and we obsess, right? And we basically want to control outcomes. We want to control the outcome. We want a certain outcome, and we're really afraid, we're very anxious about the other outcomes that might occur because, none of us can really control the future, right? But we do strive to control the future. And we obsess and then in terms of the past, we ruminate if something happened and we don't have that lack of self-trust. We ruminate on what happened and we obsess and we replay in our minds these things that did not work out, these situations where we should have said this and we could have said that, or they should have done this or they should have done that, right? And we ruminate, we perseverate, and these conversations and these situations go around and around and around in our minds. And it's really ultimately a waste of time. right? Because the past is the past. And instead of being in the present, being in the now, being here now, as Ram Dass says, or in the past, wishing we, could control the outcomes, it didn't work out really the way we wanted, right? So perseverating is a total waste of time. Worrying is a total waste of time. Obsessing is a total waste of time. But we do these things, right? We do these things. And so we perseverate about things that happened in the past. We worry about things that happened in the past and in the future. And all of these thoughts that go round and round our heads do not serve us. So, as a rapid transformational therapy practitioner, I help you pull out these limiting beliefs that you have about yourself that cause you to ruminate, that cause you to perseverate, that cause you to worry so much. And ultimately, you know what it is? That we don't feel like we're enough. If you don't feel like you have this deep and abiding self-trust, you don't feel like you're enough. And it's very common around the globe that we don't feel like we're enough. And certainly in Western culture, that, social media makes us feel that way to some degree. So we need to feel like we are enough, that we have value, that we can offer something to the world, that we have things to contribute, we have value and self-worth. We need to have this deep and abiding trust in ourselves. And so the way to do that is to remove the limiting beliefs and then to plant the seeds of positive beliefs. And we do this through a very powerful and transformative recording. So if you'd like to learn more about it, I give these totally free consultations, totally free strategy calls. I like to call them consultations. I think a strategy call is kind of a strange term. So as an RTT practitioner, I give a free call, and I can tell you briefly just about the structure. We do a 30-minute free call where I let you do all the talking and you just tell me everything that's going wrong, and I'll see if we're a good fit. And then if we're a good fit, then we have this session together where we work together for 1.5 to 2 hours, and we really dive into where you picked up these limiting beliefs, where you first picked up this feeling that you are not enough, because when we're really little, that's when everything is laid down. And we can remediate when we're older. We can do therapy. We can go to workshops. We can learn and unlearn, right? But this is where the beliefs really are laid down between the ages of 0 and 7, 0 and 5, 0 and 7. So we plant these new beliefs. You listen to a very powerful and transformative recording. And over a period of 3 weeks, which is initially 3 weeks, which is how long you listen to the recording, then you begin to see yourself transform, because your beliefs are transformed. So you feel differently about yourself. So your actions are different. So your life shows up differently. So if you'd like more information, please reach out to me. You can contact me on my website, lydiahillhypnotherapy.directory. Thanks so much for watching.